Ever wonder where your game store data? When you track a player's position, health, or ammo, where does that info actually go? The answer is not variables, but RAM. And inside RAM, we use variables to store data. Now, what exactly is a variable? Think of RAM as a big storage area while your game is running. A variable is a small named section of memory inside our RAM. It is a simple block of memory and it can be accessed with a name. And a variable holds a piece of information. It holds data. For example, health, and it can store 100. And name, it can store Anand. That is my name. Essentially, a variable is a named memory location. But what's really inside a variable? They're not numbers or characters. They are just electrical signals. Okay? A combination of zeros and ones. 0 means no electricity, 1 means yes, electricity. Your computer interprets these signals and then converts them into numbers, text, or even game objects, which means the reverse is also kind of possible. Now, why are they important? Well, every game relies on variables. Things like health, position, and score. Without variables, a game cannot track any of them. No score, no movement, which means no game. Now let's write some variables. We have our hello world script here. Let's write public int health equals 100. And then we finish every statement with a semicolon. What have we made here? When we play the game, we have created a block of memory in our RAM called health, and it is initialized with a default value of 100. So 100. This is what is happening inside our RAM. This is an integer. Int means integer. It's used to store a number. We can create public float speed equals, let's say, 5.5f. F stands for float. We have created another variable called speed and the value is 5.5. Float can be used to store numbers with a decimal point. Okay? And we are just initializing this value. This is optional. If we don't initialize, then the variable will have a random junk value inside it. Okay? Similarly, we can create a public string player name and inside double quotes Anand. This is going to create a block or a chain of memory for each character. So A, N, A, N, D. Because string is a special type, the last element of a string will be /0. /0 is a special character in programming. You don't have to understand or memorize these. Okay? You won't find any particular use for this thing for most cases. There are other types of variables. Public double. Let's say win ratio or something. And we can set this to 57.89546 and then semicolon. Double has double the precision as of a float. Basically that's it. Which is why numbers with float needs to have an F after it. But double can store more numbers in it. It's double the memory. Two more, public char or char. Let's call the symbol equals, and inside single quotes, you can give in any character. It could be A, it could be any special character. The final and the most important type of data is a boolean. Public bool, let's call this is alive, equals, and a boolean is a true or false value, which means you can store true or we can store false. Is alive must be true because the player must be alive in the beginning, right? So we have created another variable is alive and it is going to be true. Now what does this declaration mean? Public means Unity can show this variable in the inspector. This is not the only use case, but for now, let's leave it at that. If we save the scene and go back to Unity and on our object, we can see all of our variables. This is because they're all marked public. Int, float, string, double, char, bool are called data types. They define the type of data that the variable can hold. And after it will be the name of the variable, and equals a value will be the initialization. And this will set the variable to whatever value is on the right hand side. That's it. Because the variables are public, we can change these values in the inspector for each test object. We can press Ctrl D to duplicate the test object, and now test object 1 can have a different health, while test object will have the previous health. And this is how game objects are made. Let's print the value of a variable. Remember, Debug.Log is used to print. This time, let's print only the health. So inside double quotes, we can write player health. We can give a colon and then give a space. And in order to add the value health here, you can't type health, but we can use plus and then pass in the health and then a semicolon. This is going to print player health, colon and a space, and then it will actually print the value inside the variable health, which is going to be 100 by default. So let's go to the console and play the game. It displayed 183 and 137. Why is that? Because we have two test objects. If we delete one, you can see there's only one. We wrote public, but there are other options like private, but we'll cover those in another video. Now you know how variables are stored inside our RAM and how to check them in Unity, how to use them in our code. In the next one, we look at operators and learn how we can do operations with our variables in our code. See you in the next one.